Hi, I had a pretty hair-raising thought about a passage in the scripture, Mark chapter 5, that I wanted to share with you, and it's concerning demon possession and how it occurs. Now, in the story, there's a man who's possessed by a demon or demons, and he spends his nights out every night bruising himself with stones and crying out and so forth. And Jesus arrives in the area, steps off a boat, and this man runs to him and throws himself before him, and the demon within him speaks and implores Jesus not to torment him. Now, he calls Jesus by name. However, Jesus said to him, "What is your name?" And he responded, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Now, Jesus actually had to ask him his name, but the demon knew Jesus' name. Now, the demons inside this man pleaded with Jesus not to be cast out and to be allowed to go into a herd of pigs which were nearby. And Jesus granted this, and the demons fled into the pigs, and then the pigs fled into the sea and were drowned. And it says that everyone was terrified and pleaded with Jesus to leave the area. Now, examining that scripture and the use of the words, the word terrified is used. Now, if I saw 2,000 pigs running to the sea, I wouldn't be terrified. I'd be shocked. I'd be astounded. I'd stand there wondering, wow, what is going on? You know, it would really take me aback. But I wouldn't be terrified unless they were all running straight towards me if I was standing between them and the sea, and then I'd get out of the way. But there's nothing in the scripture that says that. So we have to try and examine why that is. Now, in the book of Proverbs, it says that like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. And that's talking obviously about a woman who is sexually promiscuous. Now, if that's the case, that would be 2,000 sexually promiscuous women possessed by demons running screaming into the sea. Now I would be terrified. I wouldn't just be amazed. I would actually be terrified. I would fulfill what that word means in the scripture, to be terrified. Now, further on, it also says in the scripture in 2 Timothy, it says, "Run from anything that stimulates youthful lust. Follow anything that makes you want to do right. Pursue faith and love and peace, and enjoy the companionship of those who call on the Lord with pure hearts." Now, in Genesis 6:5 it says, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." And Jesus also said that we've been told that we should not commit adultery. But then he said, "But I say to you that whosoever looks upon a woman with lust in his heart has already committed adultery with her in his heart." And the book of Proverbs again says that anyone who commits adultery will not go unpunished. And here, in this story of these pigs, there's permission by Jesus for the demons to possess them. Now, that would say to me that it's not a good thing to sit there and make excuses about having lustful thoughts about other people, because it's ungodly and it doesn't amount for a pure heart. You can't possibly claim to have a pure heart and be thinking about sexual things with passers-by in the streets, or with a friend's wife, or even a stranger's wife or husband. God doesn't like it, and he has declared that to be adultery. And again, if I refer back to the book of Scriptures, that very scary passage that says, "Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion," and relate that back to the story of the pigs in the book of Mark, well, it's not a good idea to do that kind of thing. We should be following Jesus, because Jesus has given us the benchmark. He was accused of having a demon in him in John 8, and he responded, "I have no demon in me, for I honour my Father, and you dishonour me." And if we're to honour Jesus, we should love one another, as the Lord has said, with a pure heart, as brothers and sisters, and not look upon each other as the kind of objects that the media try and make us look at. We should keep our hearts clean so that the Lord dwells in our hearts and we can spread peace amongst our brothers and sisters throughout the world.